Howdy, folks. My name is Matthew Eric White. I know I'll hold for the applause I assume you're doing now. Thank you so much. Means so much. And welcome to my new show, In the Mix. Tommy, roll the credits. There is no Tommy. I'm looking in my bathroom. For those of you that may not know me, which is incredibly possible, my name is Matthew Eric White. And I have been lucky enough to call myself an actor in the entertainment industry for the better part of a decade. And like most actors in this industry, I decided to start a podcast for two very important reasons: professional and sexual frustration. Being a part of this industry has been one of the greatest gifts and the greatest joys I've ever received in my entire life. And it's not just because I love my job, because I do. I love comedy. I love playing pretend. I love writing. I love producing. But I also love all the incredible people I've gotten to meet along the way. This job has given me the opportunity to meet some of the hardest working, driven, kindest, most creative people I've ever met in my entire life. And they are a big reason as to why I wanted to start this show. I call this show In the Mix for two very important reasons. Number one, that's what most casting directors say to me when I'm up for a project, and then they end up giving it to a famous person. This is bourbon. I'm going to drink it. But the second more important reason is when I first got into the film and television industry, I never realized just how many people it takes to make one project work. How many cooks are in the kitchen, how many people are in the mix just to make one thing run properly and hopefully make it successful. So let me tell you how this show is going to work for the time being. First things first, I'm going to have solo segments where I'm going to pull up different entertainment stories of the week and give my 2 cents and do bits, tell stories, play games, just have fun. I literally only have one rule for this show, and it's one very easy rule for myself and my guests. It's no politics. I really don't think people want to hear what I have to say about the political world, and if you do, you really need to re-educate yourself. Foreign policy, I am not your guy. Now, foreign films, ho-ho! Folks, you have come to the right place. My father spent a lot of money on a film degree for me to learn about German expressionism. Please don't bring it up to him. He's still not happy about it. The second half of my show is going to be a segment I like to call The Up-and-Comers, a segment specifically highlighting some of the incredible people I have met in my journey, not just in the entertainment industry, but in industries all across the way. My favorite thing about the podcast format has been the truth, the honesty, and the passion that people deliver in this format. And that's exactly what I want to bring to my interviews. Now, I'm calling this segment The Up-and-Comers because these are people that have been working and grinding and have been very successful for a very long time, but they just haven't necessarily been in the limelight. And that might be by choice or by not. And I want to have true, honest conversations with these people about what they get out of the work they do, what drives them to keep waking up in the morning. And hopefully me, you, anyone out there, we can learn a little something from these people. I have 2 goals with this show. I just want to put a smile on your face, make you laugh, and then I want you to maybe learn something from these incredible people that I bring on. And again, I know I'm very well aware of how this format works. It's incredibly oversaturated. I don't know if anyone is out there watching, but you know what? Even if I get my grandma, who is probably watching, hi grandma, if I can get her to smile and get her to learn something new from these people I bring on, then I've done my job. As far as I'm concerned, I'm happy to keep going if I keep getting that one person. And then hopefully it grows. So, folks, I'm really excited to take you on this journey. Now, real quick, I want to do what us actors call a shameless plug. A few years ago, I shot a film called The Blind. It's the story about Phil Robertson. We were very lucky that the film exceeded our expectations in theaters a few years ago, and now the film is re-releasing in theaters nationwide starting August 30th. It is a tribute to Mr. Phil Robertson and his life, who recently passed away. Rest in peace, Mr. Phil Robertson. I play him from high school to college. It also stars the wonderful Brielle Robillard, Amelia Eve, and Aaron Von Andrian. So, everyone, please go take a look at that. We're very happy about the project, very proud. We hope you guys enjoy it once again. Okay, shameless plug over. Let's move on to our stories. Now, one of the top stories of this week, and of course by top stories I mean my friends and I have been talking about and sending memes back and forth to each other nonstop, is about Mr. Pedro Pascal. Let's pull it up here. Pedro Pascal's social anxiety around women. Yes, it came out recently that Pedro Pascal admitted he has social anxiety, which who doesn't? We all do. Good for him to keep bringing visibility to it. He also said that one of the easiest ways to ease it for him is to have physical touch in some capacity with his female co-star, most notably Vanessa Kirby, as they've been doing the press tour. She's also pregnant with a husband. I'm not sure if he's dating anybody. I'm not even going to comment on any of that stuff. To each their own. Every relationship has their different boundaries. The thing that I'm interested in, I never understood this. I mean, the idea of an attractive woman touching me in any way, shape, or form is what causes me the most anxiety. Having them examine you in any way, I mean, it's been a while since a woman examined me, but still, that doesn't change the fact that it causes me a lot of anxiety. Also, the fact that it's been a while doesn't help ease the anxiety. It's, ladies, if you're out there, I am interested in exposure therapy. People keep making comments about, if this were my girlfriend or if this were my wife, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, she's not. It's Vanessa Kirby. She's not your wife. So calm down. You didn't get Vanessa Kirby. Someone else did. And guess what? They're confident enough in their relationship that they don't really care what goes on a press tour. My favorite thing I hear from other actors, they're like, God, dating in this industry is so tough. It's so hard to be dating a normal person. That's the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life. It's so not true. Like, okay, you're the problem, we got into this industry because we crave attention. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. That's a lie. Okay. Like, oh wait, I went to a movie and this person's face was on screen for hundreds of thousands of millions of people. And now they're recognized everywhere they go and they get to play pretend. We never grew up. We're children. We never grew up. And this is just my opinion on it. Everyone has different opinions. But the thing about being an actor is there's, contradicting opinions about love scenes. Actors, they tend to say this, it's just part of the job. Why am I always British when I'm an actor? It's just part of the job. It's just like anything else. It's not weird. It's not uncomfortable. No one should feel nervous about it or feel funky about it, especially when you're in a relationship. It's just my job. That's so dumb to me because yes, we're actors. Yes, we're playing different people, but you're still the person making out with someone or having a sex scene or anything like that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I understand for many stories, it is incredibly necessary. I mean, Anora was an incredible film. You can't make that film without having that many love scenes. It's practically impossible. But if you're going to do that as your job, you have to recognize how uncommon and not normal it is. I mean, I've had love scenes while I was in a relationship and the people are warrantedly insecure and uncomfortable about it because they know I'm going to work tomorrow and I have to make out with some random girl. And as the actor, I'm stuck in a conundrum because it's not just I need to make sure my partner is safe and okay and comfortable and understands I love her to death and will love her, whatever. I also have a responsibility as the man on set, especially in this day and age, to make sure my scene partner feels as humanly comfortable as possible. And I have to cater to her to make sure she feels just as safe. And then I have to make sure I feel safe and I feel comfortable. Now, I've been lucky with every director, co-star, every project I've been a part of where I have love scenes or kiss scenes or anything like that. They are so incredibly accommodating, especially in this world of intimacy coordinators, which is unbelievable. It's so helpful, intimacy coordinators, because it makes it far more like a dance and more a little less uncomfortable, and it sets boundaries for each actor. It's great. But again, going back to the point, I don't see why actors don't like to admit that it is a funky thing. You can't negate that experience can have an effect. It's just up to you as the actor to mentally accept or don't accept that. I have a true rule where I do not date or engage in any sort of activities with co-stars, especially while filming. And it's got nothing to do necessarily with them or it's about me. My acting gets worse. I've had on-set relationships before when I was really younger, and they're not even relationships, but like on-set flirtations. And the next day, we have a scene where we're supposed to flirt in the scene, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I flirted with them all day offset, and for some reason when the camera goes on, I get incredibly uncomfortable. It made my acting worse. And for me, that's my line. Like, this is my work. That's my everything. If anything affects that, it needs to go out. But again, actors, just accept that it's weird. Accept, tell your partner you understand it's uncomfortable. Let's not do this whole game where it's like, it's just work, okay? Really? Because my Uncle Tommy went to work as an accountant yesterday and he did not have to make out with his boss, Michael. So it's just, let's recognize where it's different. It's an art. It's creativity. I'm not saying stop doing it. I'm just saying, let's acknowledge, make other people recognize that, hey, your feelings are warranted. That's all. Speaking of on set, I do want to tell one quick story. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday or 2 days ago, and he asked me what the sickest I ever got was. And my answer was actually while I was on set. I was working down in Mexico. I did a pilot a long time ago that didn't go called Getaway, which, add it to the dead pilots list. And incredible team, incredible cast. I was down in Mexico for a month and a half shooting this thing. And what's the number one rule when you go to Mexico? What does everyone say? What do they all say? Don't drink the water if you're not used to it, right? And I followed that rule. I thought. I did everything out of water bottles. I was brushing my teeth with water bottles. I was only drinking out of water bottles. I was basically showering with water bottles, which was probably overkill. But we had these on-set chefs, and they were amazing. And they made the greatest chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life, ever. The problem was I didn't think about it. They were cleaning the chicken with the tap water. I was eating the sandwich every single lunch for 6 days. Felt fine. I was like, this is great. Until day 7. Day 7 came around. I show up on set. It's a night shoot. So I get there around 7 p.m. I'm going to be working till about 7, 8 a.m. And I get to my trailer and I close the door and I'm watching a movie, just trying to settle into the work day. And my stomach is like, bleh. I was like, oh, well, that didn't feel great. And I have Crohn's disease, so I just figured it was my Crohn's acting up. And it goes, and I was like, that is not a Crohn's noise. And suddenly my intestines decided just to eat themselves. I have never felt so much pain in my entire life. I'm going to people asking for antacids. I'm trying to just walk. I can barely walk. I get driven to set. I'm drinking ginger ale. Nothing is subsiding the pain. I'm in a golf cart and I'm like, ugh. I get to set and the shot we're doing of the day is like a little stunt, not even really a stunt. I'm supposed to just like run into this hotel lobby, make sure everyone's okay, run and grab a towel for somebody and then cut and then run out of frame. It might have taken us 30 minutes to get the shot. It felt like 4.5 hours. Every single shot in between takes, I would run in, grab the towel, run out of frame, run directly to the bathroom and start throwing up. So I'm literally being like, is he okay? No worries. Get him a towel. Okay. Like it's the worst and the pain is not subsiding. I'm just violently throwing up. Finally, we finish the shot. I go back into the bathroom. I pass out. I come to the set medic is in the bathroom with me. She does not speak English. She's a local Mexican nurse. She's smacking me on the face, trying to get some blood into my face. I look up. I'm in the ladies' restroom. Apparently, I just ran into that one before collapsing. And she's saying all these words to me. And I will say this, my roommate Jeremy will not agree, but I felt kind of fluent in Spanish. I don't know what she said, but in English, I thought she said, do you need a shot? Do you need a shot? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what, anything to make this pain stop, please. I'm dying. I can't, I'm like, and she goes, okay. And then she says, lift up your sleeve. That's what I thought she said. I lift up my sleeve. I look at her and she goes, no. She did not say lift up my sleeve. She said, take down your pants. She pulls out a needle that's at least this big. It was the biggest needle I've ever seen in my life. And by the way, I've got no padding back on my ass. All right. It is just bone down there anyway. No matter how much weight I gain, it just skips my ass entirely. So she says, drop your pants. It's at that point where you could strip me naked and throw me out a car door. And if you told me that made my pain go away, I would have done it. It was horrible. And I have to stay somewhat quiet. We're still shooting a different scene outside. They literally just were like, send the set medic. We got to get through our day. And she turns around. I'm gripping the sink as tight as I can. She puts the shot in my cheek. And I think it was 10 times the amount of pain the stomach was giving me that shot. It felt like she was extracting bone marrow from my tailbone. And it took forever. Like at least a 45-second shot, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but think about it. A flu shot's what? 1, 2, out. 45 seconds. That's just it's in my ass. It is in my ass. Clip that. And She keeps going, she keeps going, she keeps going. She pulls it out. She goes, how you feel? I immediately collapse onto the sink, like, oh my God. And suddenly, it felt like my intestines untied themselves. Like they were tying knots and just slowly loosened. And I looked at her and I gave her the biggest hug I've ever given anyone in my entire life. They took me back to my trailer. I laid down. I took an hour-long nap. And to this day, I never saw that woman again. And I have no idea what the hell was in that shot. Not a clue. But I gotta tell you, if it was drugs, I'm hooked, and I've been looking for it for a very long time. So if any of you out there know what the hell that could have been, especially my nurse friends, I know I got nurse friends out there watching this. If you have any idea what that could have been, please tell me, because I will have a stash in my drawer for the rest of my life. I will just need to find somebody to inject it in my ass for me. Taking applications for girlfriends now. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to do it for our first episode of In the Mix with Matthew Eric White. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have something else out for you next week. And real quick, don't forget, tickets on sale for The Blind in theaters August 30th. Check it out soon.